I was going to ask you about other monsters and creatures that you've written about. You've actually written about vampires and werewolves as well. And in both cases, these are not subjects I've talked about on the show before, so I'm going to be learning right along with our listeners. Werewolves and vampires are fascinating to me, and to me, especially with a werewolf, with what limited knowledge I have of the subject, those would seem to be tactile, physical beings. Is that correct or no?
I think that werewolves are interdimensional, too. In fact, I think a lot of mysterious creatures that we've got in our mythologies and folklores are probably encounters with beings from other realities.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to point out, too, Michael, that I think that our projection has a lot to do with how we experience something.
Mm-hmm.
There's a projection from the living that goes on to a paranormal experience in our way of making sense out of it. So it gets, here again, we're into this blurry territory as to what we're really experiencing. But I think out of all the subjects that I've dealt with, I find some of the anecdotal evidence and the folklore on vampires and werewolves to be the most intriguing because it just gets so bizarre. We have cases from history where people confess to being werewolves and going on rampages, tearing up bodies, drinking blood. Some of them may have had some mental problems.
Certainly.
It's very hard to know. But then we have this other class of experience, like the Beast of Bray Road, these half-human, half-wolf, dog-like creatures seen even now in current times in Wisconsin and Michigan, Minnesota, and by multiple witnesses. And clearly, there's too many accounts to say, well, it's mass hysteria or people are making it up.
Are there reports in the ones that you're mentioning where livestock or humans have been harmed?
In the case of the Beast of Bray Road, those are current sightings that Linda Godfrey has reported on for about the past decade in the Great Lakes region. The creature or creatures, if there are more than one, they have been seen eating animals, like perhaps roadkill.
Mm-hmm.
There have been a few cases where people have had very close encounters with this werewolf and have felt very threatened. But the creature seems to be very intelligent, seems to be able to communicate its intent, like, I could really do some damage to you, but I'm not going to. For the most part, they seem to want to be not molested in their own. They don't want to have a whole lot to do with people.
Are you implying that they're seeming to kind of communicate actually telepathically to the people that are witnessing them as well?
Well, some people have reported that they know, and they seem to get mental impressions that this creature is intelligent, it's aware of them, it may even be more intelligent than them, and they understand its intent. And it's kind of like a telepathic, intuitive knowing without hearing words in your head.
Gotcha.
But just sort of, understanding.
Wow, it almost sounds a bit like the reports of Sasquatch and Bigfoot, similar types of mentality. I know that Jerry has a couple more questions. We have so many questions for you tonight from our listeners. They were very fired up that you're on the show.
Great.
Hit us with another one, Jerry.
Amy writes, since we perceive our existence in a linear fashion, do you think that those with psychic tendencies break this line of thinking?
Yes, I do, because psychic ability really transcends time and space. It reaches into the ever-present now, and I think that we are evolving our consciousness in this direction. At some point, we're going to learn to live in a slice of the multiverse where we don't have linear time, and that's a mind-boggling concept to us now because our whole existence is related to past, present, and future,
Mm-hmm.
and yet all the metaphysical teachings hold that everything is in an ever-present now. I believe, for example, that human beings are multidimensional, and that I have other aspects of my multidimensional self having simultaneous incarnations in other realities right now. And some of those are what we would call in the past here on Earth, but yet they're going on right now. And I think that we can't even begin to conceive of the whole ramification of our total self and what we're doing in all of these experiences. But at some point we do, whether that's after death or at some point in our evolution. I think we do come into a comprehension of the sum total of who we are.
Well, it's interesting when you mention death, because what I'm thinking of immediately is the story or the idea that our entire life passes before our eyes right before we die, and I guess that could possibly explain when we're passing, from this realm to the other one. Then we are capable to see all those different things which we couldn't possibly remember in our regular existence.
I do believe that, and yet we still might see only a portion. Mm-hmm. For example, if we pass out of an earthly incarnation and we have a life or lives review, it may be just of incarnations related to Earth. And I think that we have incarnations in other states of existence, too. We have a lot of people who really feel that they are from someplace else, or that they've had significant lives in other places beyond the Earth. This seems to be a consciousness that's been coming to the fore for several decades now, and I do think there's something to it.
We're speaking with Rosemary Ellen Guiley. We're talking about the paranormal, the metaphysical, the multiverse. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got a whole slew of questions we need to get to, so I'm going to get out of the way for a second, and we're going to pose all of your questions to Rosemary and let her answer. So please stick around. This is Dark Matter. My name is Michael Parker. We're having a good one tonight. Hope you are as well. Stick around.
This is not a test. Dark Matter with Michael Parker. We'll be right back.